Hi everyone, welcome to Michelin King. Today we're going to go outside and try one of our luxury car waxes called Ivory. So Ivory's particularly good on paint that's metallic. It gives you a really wet look finish. As I said, it's a luxury wax, so you're going right up to the top of the range within the waxes that we offer. So without further ado, let's go out and let's get waxing. So this is one of our rectangular microfiber applicator pads, and all we're going to do, just make sure the lid's on nice and tight and give Pure a good shake. Just want to make sure everything's mixed in. This is a paint cleaner and you're about to see the wonder of what this does. What I would mention, guys, is this car only last week had a coat of elegance on the top, and as you can see it's still extremely glossy, but we want to remove that wax now so that we can test the next wax, which is Ivory. So all I'm doing here is just opening the nozzle, there we go, and then just put a couple of Zorros on there. I'm only going to do the area of the panel that's in shot, so we're not needing a whole lot of product, and just dab it onto the paint. Reason being, you don't want to rub any dry Pure or any type of dry polish across the paint, so this means that you're always picking up fresh polish, the pad's lubricated, and it makes for a better application as well, an easier application. So we're just applying, as you can see, always straight lines. The reason for that is if you do pick up any grit, contaminants, especially working outside. So let's do it logically. If you see this pad here, that's 1. So the time that the pad is in contact with the paint is much less than, it's my own paint, so let's go for it, than this. So you've got many more passes, there's more time on the paint. It also means if you have picked up a contaminant here, you're rubbing it more frequently into the paint than you would be if you're doing this. Now, Pure isn't a product that you really need to work into the paint because it is a chemical cleaner and it's activated by what we're doing just now. Okay guys, so that's Pure being applied. We've let it sit for just a few minutes. Obviously you can, if you want, you can quite clearly see that it's starting to haze over, which means it's ready to remove. You can, if you want, just do the finger swipe test and you'll see a clear break. Not really the same as wax because Pure is a paint cleaner. It's really just preparing the surface for your last step products. So what we're going to do is take our Michelin King Olympian cloth, and we'll use the more fluffy side this time, because we always use the other one, so let's use the more fluffy side just to show you how easy it is to remove. And what this will also do is, because it's the paint cleaner designed to work with our waxes, it will obviously remove elegance from the paint. You kind of just need to trust it's doing that, because the result you get is extremely high gloss, and that's just because we've totally decontaminated the paint of what they call above surface contaminants. So that'll be things that are on the clear coat rather than below surface, which would typically be things like scratches and swirls and whatnot. So what we're looking to do now is move on to the next step. Right, so that's us. Right, so that's us finished with Pure. We've decontaminated and cleaned this area. We're just focusing on this side of the bonnet or the hood simply because that's where the camera's pointing. And it's a nice, manageable, workable area. What I would typically do is split your bonnet into 2 or the hood into 2 sections, depending on how big it is. Roughly I'm working with about 1, 2, probably 3 feet by about 2 feet. And for me that's quite comfortable reach as well. This is supposed to be enjoyable, so you don't really want to burden yourself. Split it up to manageable amounts. It's not a competition, as I said. You know, we want to enjoy ourselves when we're detailing. So, next up, I'm actually going to use this, which is a product called Guard. So again, it's from Michelin King, as you can see here, and the product name is Guard. So essentially what it does is it guards your paint from external contaminants, things like tree sap, tar, bird lime to an extent. Obviously we know bird lime is alkaline, so it does eat through the clear coat. So just be careful with bird lime. If you see it, try and get it off as quickly as possible. But things like sealants will help to a certain extent. The main aim of this is I want the paintwork to be properly protected over the coming months. We're coming into winter now and I want to make sure that there's a nice level of protection on the paint. Right guys, so very similar application to Pure in the terms that you are just applying this to the paint. You don't need to polish it in or work it in. So all we're going to do is open a bottle. Make sure you've shook it properly before doing that, just to make sure everything's mixed in. And then all you're going to do is put a few Zorros on the pad, just like that. After this, you want to dab across the paintwork, just to make sure that you're picking up new product all the time and you're not spreading any dust or slightly hardened product over the paint. Now your first few dabs, as it were, will always be slightly thicker, so you can just redistribute them across the paint and just simply start always straight lines up and down or left and right, whatever you want to do. If you find it easier to do it this way, then that's your prerogative, it's your paint, just as long as you stick to the straight lines. Train of thought, as we covered with Pure, is just you touch the paint less with a straight line than you do circular motions, and with circular motions you're more likely to continually rub that contaminant into the paint, which is why sometimes you'll see paint with these strange circular like scratches. It's probably from the application of some kind of product and there's been a contaminant of some sort on there. So all we'll do now is take our Olympian cloth. We're using the less plush side just again to mix things up a wee bit. Pure, it was in more plush. I prefer the less plush because I find that the product comes off easier with the less plush, just simply because the more plush fibres, you tend to get product build up and that can make removal of any product more difficult. So again, we're just now polishing that up to a high gloss finish, and we'll have a look at the finished layer. So we're on to the main event now, which is Ivory. I just want to show you how easy this is to get out of the jar onto the pad and the correct amount to use on an area roughly of that size. So these are our new foam pads. They're slightly bigger than the 4-inch that we normally offer. The foam pads, I like them because they spread the product really nice coat, nice and even, so they're really good beginner product. They totally avoid over application as well. So let's get to it. So you literally just need for this about a third or a quarter of the pad. So we just pop that into Ivory. The good thing with the red, strangely enough, is you can see perfectly where the wax has been applied, and that's plenty. This will be available to purchase from the website. As you can see, we just took a few swipes out of the jar, so this will be available once the video's uploaded. So similar idea to how we applied Pure and Guard is, and this is just so easy to apply. You can see it's really buttery soft. It's a massive step up in quality as well. It is from the luxury range, so you would expect a higher grade to begin with, but this is just, Ivory is just out of this world. really high clarity. So already what I'm seeing in application is you've got an extremely wet finish to the paint, and it's also, we don't have any added colourants in here as well, just so that the product is as pure as possible. Now this cures quite quickly, which is nice. We do have a variety of waxes if you're one of these people that, you know, if you like to leave your wax on for a longer time, or you like to maybe 10 minutes maximum cure. And obviously we can also make a bespoke wax for you as well. We make all of our waxes in-house, just literally in the factory right behind the camera. So if you do have any special requests, then we can obviously do that for you as well. Now what you want to do is apply 2 layers, and you want to wait a few hours in between each layer. Hi everyone, welcome back. So we've allowed that ivory to sit, it's nicely cured. You can start to see the hazing over the bonnet, and now what we'll do is just remove it and show you how easy the removal is, so that you yourself, you can try this at home and get the exact same results as we are getting right here. So let's get into it, let's get this wax off. You'll have probably heard about these cloths many times now. This is our Olympian cloth, specifically using the less plush side just because it's easier to remove the wax that way. The wax doesn't get clumped up in the fibres, so what you want to use is a less plush cloth for removal. It can still be very tightly woven, as you can see here, very high quality microfiber. Always try and get the best that you can, because it will just make all of this process much easier. All we're doing on the first instance with ivory, we're just breaking through that first layer, and we're starting to basically see that wetness and clarity come through, and the sun's coming out for us as well, so hopefully we can get a nice after shot. The gloss on this is absolutely incredible. You've got wetness as well, so wetness to me is just when it shimmers over the top, and then the gloss is essentially, just looks as if it's been newly painted. But on top of all of that, you've got this amazing clarity that allows you to see the metallic flake absolutely bouncing through the paintwork. Now if only the sun would come out from behind the clouds and we could really get into this, but for the moment let's take a look at the finish, the wet look, and analyse exactly what ivory is giving us. So guys, that's us removed ivory. As you can see, the wet finish on the paint is absolutely incredible. Look at the wetness there, it looks as if the paint's just been newly sprayed. And as we walk round, we've got incredible depth as well. This tree is, well, let's take a look. There's the tree there. It goes above our building. So our building stands at about 5 metres tall roughly, and that tree is well above that. So the incredible depth. And again, you can see it with the reflections in the building there as well. Ivory is quite a special wax in the sense of the microscopic beading, and that's just testament to the quality of the blend that we're offering here.